Tonight on WCW Nitro, it's the beginning of a brand new era. Caveat that it's not anything going to change. Welcome back to Spike Piledriver Wrestling. This is WCW 2000. My name is Anders, and welcome to the show. If you're new here, please make sure you are subscribed because we need more subscribers so I can get monetized. Bluntly, get subscribed. Like the video as well, that's good for the algorithm. And if you're unfamiliar with this series, this is the one where we basically use a random generated booking idea from a spreadsheet, which we'll go to in a second, which will change the show that we've already pre-booked. So, before we get into that, actually, let's look at the booking here. I've got a few threads that I'm going to try and use for the next few weeks. So we're going to push two unimportant, unrecognisable talent, jobbers basically, and try and get them over. Namely, well, you'll see them. I'll flag them during the show. Basically, I've got scoped out the next 5 weeks of matches for them where they're going to win and hopefully get over. And we're also going to begin a series of vignettes or backstage angles with David Flair as well. So you'll hopefully see those evolve as we go through the show. But all of that could change as we go to this page here, where we have a look at our randomly generated booking idea, which is tonight Under the Hood. We've got to give a mask to a random mid-carder and then have them lose at the next pay-per-view, and they lose the mask. Okay, that should be fine. Right, let's have a look who we could give that mask to. Should we make it a comedy mid-carder or a heel? Maybe. Let's just use everyone's favourite, Alex Wright, shall we? Yes. Right, let's go here and go to Alex Wright. This guy right here. We're going to give a mask. And what I can't do right now, actually, is I might have to consult ChatGPT and see if we can get an image created for Alex Wright to put him in a mask. But what I'll do now in game is we'll go to Alex Wright and let's handle his character details. I mean, he's not got an already masked alter ego, so we shall see El Germano. We'll go with Germano. I'm assuming that's what the Spanish is for Germany. We'll change that in a second. We'll create a new mask. It's a WCW owned mask, and we'll have an angle about it in a second. Right? Yes. No, I don't. Whatever. Excellent. Right. So before his match here, which he loses, obviously, we're going to have an angle. The debut of El Germano. We see a poorly put together hype package about a masked wrestler from Germany. Clearly, I can't type. Alex Wright. He makes his WCW debut tonight. And not just a masked wrestler, a masked luchador. There we go. And we will have El Germano, wherever he is. Character development, yes. That's okay. 3 minutes in a backstage video, pre-taped. Excellent. We'll stick that in here. And also, where is he? We'll go back to the roster page. El Germano will create a new gimmick. He's not a dancing fool anymore. Shall we... Are we too soon to consider joining his gimmick as part of a turn? Okay, we'll rename. Masked. Obvious Luchador we'll go with. Obvious... No, that doesn't make sense. We'll go with Luchador. Because why not? We'll do that. Drop that. Tweak the gimmick. It's tweaked once. It's great. Excellent. He's still a comedy gimmick. Yep, that's fine. Okay, what I'll do now, before we go through the show, is I'll do some magic with AI and see if I can create a clearly masked Alex Wright picture and see if we can get him under a German mask. Be back in a second. Okay, thanks to some AI wizardry, we've now got a masked Alex Wright, and he's not El Germano, it's El Alemania. Because that's what it is in Spanish. We'll see how he goes. Right, let's do the show. Well, let's rename that. There we go. Excellent. Let's go. Let's run the show. Why not? We'll see how much fun we've got here with WCW 2000. It's usually quite a laugh. Right, we'll start the show with the brand new WCW champion Sting in the ring, talking about his crazy road to Spring Stampede. It was worth it, and he is finally the world champion once again. He's got the gold, got revenge on Sid Vicious, and the fans left happy-ish. The Outsiders then interrupt, with Hall and Nash looking to attack Sting rather than talk to him. But DDP rushes out with a chair in hand to save the Stinger from a 2-on-1 beatdown. Eric Bischoff then heads out and makes a tag team match for tonight's main event. The segment, because apparently the attention span is nothing in this company, went on too long for the fans, and everyone's still bored at the idea of a Kevin Nash face turn. We'll see how bored they will get as we run that into the ground. Presently, we're expecting to turn him face around September. We'll see if that happens. Right, next up, that's a 47, by the way, to start the show. Not too bad. Speaking of bad, Lash LaRue defeats Brian Adams in 3 minutes with a Whiplash 2000. It gets a 28. Adams is off his game. I think he's just back from an injury or back from some sort of absence. Anyway, Lash LaRue is one of our pet projects, by the way. He is the face unimportant wrestler who we're trying to push. So victory over Brian Adams here probably won't help him because I'm pretty sure that his popularity is maybe around the level this match rating was. So I think it's like 26 before this. 28 ain't going to get it much better, but he gets the win. So, well done to him. He's got a segment later on as well, which is probably going to fluff up. Next up, we see former WCW champion Lex Luger arriving to the building. As he heads inside, he is blindsided by an attack from Booker T. Booker lays him out with a steel pipe and tells him that he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Medics rush in. Booker walks off all in a huff, because Booker Huffman. Yep, you got it. 42, not great. Next, we see a poorly put together hype package about a masked luchador from Germany. It's very clearly Alex Wright, and he makes his WCW debut tonight. El Alaman, 26, and the match itself is a 27, as the Marmalukes get victory over Chavo and El Alaman. He's a luchador. Yeah, you put in the best performance of the match, though. Everyone else stunk it up a little bit. Code of silence on Chavo gets the win for the Marmalukes. 27. Now, I'm not necessarily pushing the Marmalukes, but I just haven't used them since about January, so I figured to give them a win. And we've now got our new random German luchador. Definitely not Alex Wright. 27. Mean Gene catches up with Lash LaRue after his big upset victory earlier in the night. The Raging Cajun is fired up and wants to prove he has a big part to play in the future of WCW. 18 is not good. Let's probably keep Lash away from a mic in future because he can't talk. Crowd are disinterested. It's a good start to the new era. Speaking of a good start to the new era, 3 Count arrive and sing their latest single before Shane Helms gets ready for singles action. It's a 1, 2, 3 count, right? Shane Helms is the heel equivalent of Lash LaRue, who we'll be pushing over the next 5 weeks. Let's see if this one goes better. The first segment didn't work. 31, though, as he gets a victory over Psychosis with a vertebraker in 3 minutes. Puts in a good performance at 33. Okay, not too bad. Cooled the crowd a little bit. They were already cold. They were disinterested. Now they're cold and losing interest. Okay, let's try and win them back. 31. Not great. We'll keep going. Sid Vicious arrives at the arena. He brushes straight by Mike Tenay and marches towards the ring, ready to kick somebody's ass. The crowd are now cold. That's a 50. Let's see if the squash match brings them back. It doesn't. It's a 41. Sid squashes Brad Armstrong with a powerbomb. Still haven't changed. I'm going to have to change that. It still says powerbomb. Anyway, Sid gets a good performance in. You'd think getting a dominant squash would help and get a good rating, but it hasn't. It's only a 41. Next up, we go backstage. This crowd is dying. WCW Commissioner Eric Bischoff has an address from his office. He talks about how tonight is the beginning of a brand new era for WCW. A lot of the old guard is gone or on its way out, and he is opening the door for young talent to prove their worth and earn their way to the top of the company. How Eric Bischoff, with his pretty decent entertainment skills and pretty high popularity, only got a 35 from this one, I'm not sure. Angle cooled the crowd a little, who are now dying. Back to our regularly scheduled poor crowds. Speaking of, why are segments so poor? Booker T comes to the ring and explains that he's fed up of waiting for his chance. He's going to take it, and he's coming for you, Lex Luger. And the former WCW champion's heard enough, and the pair fight until security have to separate them. It only gets to 39, though. This show's dead in the water. Welcome to the new era of WCW. It's pretty similar to the one from last week. Next up, Bam Bam Bigelow. No, Shane Douglas, leader of the Revolution, tells Mike Awesome that as his reward for his service to the cause, he is now the new hardcore champion. Douglas has bigger things on his plate. Great recommendation there. Hardcore title. Wonderful, wonderful prize. Bam Bam Bigelow then walks in and tells the pair that it doesn't matter which one is champion, he's going to kick their ass. He and Awesome then brawl towards the ring. Mike Awesome is now the new hardcore champion. It gets a 41. The crowd are still dead. Let's go into our next contest, which is for the hardcore title, where Mike Awesome beats Bam Bam in 5 minutes with an awesome bomb. He makes his first defence of the definitely not an ECW rip-off hardcore title. They've got good chemistry, lifted the match. Still only got a 43 though, so it didn't lift it very high. Never mind. Crowd, still dead if you're keeping track of them. Next up, speaking of dead, excellent. Now, I had a lot of fun writing this, so I don't care that the angle's only got a 24 rating. Somewhere in the depths of the arena, we see David Flair and Daphne beginning therapy. Flair claims that he knows that he has been banned or has left WCW, is just visiting now for some closure. Daphne sits on the floor cross-legged, giggling to herself, claiming that Flair is just passionate. But David blames Ric Flair for being a toxic role model and believes that his loss to Rey Mysterio is actually just a conspiracy led by Sting to get revenge on his dad for everything the Four Horsemen had done over the years. The therapist attempts to intervene, but David drags him to the floor and locks in the figure 4 leg lock. This is just part 1 of 5 from this series, so strap in, because it's going to get terrible ratings every week, and I don't care. It deserves better than a 24. Crowd, still dead. Angle brought the crowd down even more. Wonderful. Next up, DDP is with Mean Gene, and he tells him that he still has one eye on the WCW title, but the outsiders are still running around like they run the place, so he's taken it upon himself to keep them away from the title at all costs. Gets a 50, crowd not coming back. They've all left. All 3,208 of them, or at least the 208 that are probably paid, have left the building. Never mind. Next up, Ric Flair tries to get interest back from the crowd, and it's slightly working, they're now unclear. Comes to the ring and tells the whole world that the Nature Boy ain't finished yet, and he wants another piece of the revolution. Tonight, he'll face former friend and Horseman ally Dean Malenko, and he'll show him why they call him the dirtiest player in the game. Hopefully, a Ric Flair-Dean Malenko match will pull this show from the depths of despair. It's a 67. Flair's still penalised for his poor form, still the best in-ring performer in the company. Bell to bell, excellent. Dean Malenko loses by submission to the figure 4 leg lock. Crowd loved it, 67 rating. They're now unclear still, so it's not pulled them around too much, but Flair with a 70 in-ring performance is, if not the best, one of the best wrestlers in the company still, even at his age and his senility. Anyway, 67 rating, probably not going to top that one, so let's just end the show there. Thanks for watching. No, we're moving on. Next up, bringing it back down to earth nicely. Ric Flair celebrates the win, but not for long as the rest of the Revolution swarm the ring and beat him down. Douglas locks the Nature Boy in the figure 4 and mockingly woos at him. Kidman and Tori have got good chemistry. Rest of it, bit of a shit show. 37, not great. Next up, we see highlights from the semi-finals and finals of the US title tournament last night at Spring Stampede. Go and order the replay, or rather check out the video here on the channel. It will be linked in the playlist that's at the end of this video, or just have a look. I think the playlist is actually in the description, so look at it. Vampiro left the pay-per-view as the new US champion, and in the process he suffered an injury, but he will be live on Nitro next week. We're basically padding for time because he's injured for the next 4 weeks, so never mind. 51 is okay. Moving up to the main event, which is good, actually. 63. Maybe we'll get a decent rating out of the show. In a bout that had fantastic wrestling, but ended up in chaos. Sting and DDP drew with the outsiders when the match was just thrown out after 7.5 minutes. You'll notice there none of the in-ring performances were as high as Ric Flair's 70. He should be world champion. Should we just book Ric Flair as world champion? I mean, I'm tempted. 63 rating though, not too bad. And we close the show With Sting, DDP, and the Outsiders continuing to fight after the bell. Nitro ends with all 4 men swinging for the fences, and he gets a 51. And this Nitro's probably going to score like a 57 overall. 56, yep. Yep, probably deserved it as well. Try new things. Didn't work. Did not work. Bring back Hulk Hogan. No, that's not going to happen. But I'm pushing Shane Helms. I'm pushing Lash LaRue. Whether they're the right people to push or not, who cares? I'm trying something. We're putting David Flair on TV in comedy spots every night. We've put Alex Wright under a mask. He's done a lot of things recently. He's led a heel faction, turned face, danced for a bit. Now he's a mass luchador. Man of all trades. 56. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Finances, don't care. Popularity, down. Yep. Let's move to Europe, they said. That's not going to help, is it? Okay, in fact, speaking of that, I've got something to show you in a second on the calendar. Hey, there's Rhino. Hi, Rhino. Nice to see you. He's in ECW. Right, so there's comments about moving to Europe after I made a passing daft comment a while ago. DDP thinks Rey Mysterio's money. Yep. Scott Hall turning crowbar against Ric Flair. Yeah, Vampiro's injured, we know that. Viewing figures for Nitro are in. Not great. 3 million, fine. Right, what I was going to say, actually, if we look, before we go into that chaos, I've moved Millennium Final up from November, because we might not be here in November. Probably get no money and bankrupt and be kicked out of the game soon. So we're going to have our Germany pay-per-view on the 18th of May. It's a Thursday, so wait for that to come in a few weeks. We're going to get through Slamboree now first, and then we'll have a Nitro and that pay-per-view in Germany, and hopefully it'll go okay. Probably won't, let's be fair. I've got no idea what we're doing for Slamboree, by the way, apart from Sting. I think we might go Sting against Scott Hall, Kevin Nash against DDP, and Ric Flair will somehow leave with the championship. I don't know. We've set up Luger and Booker as well, I guess. We've got a US champion that's out injured. No tag division, no cruiserweight division. A couple of pushers that are going to fail. Lots of things happening here on WCW 2000. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I shall see you on the next episode. This has been typical WCW. Thanks for watching.